Hey guys, well, nice sunny day, so I've come to Crystal Palace. They've dropped me off at a different platform. So the platform I was at before is here, behind this wall here. There's the roof, and this is the building with all the arches, so you can see these are the blocked in arches here. So we have this level here, and then another part of the station here. That's the railway station up there, I presume. Very strange. Okay. So this is the other bit that I was in before, so I'm now right at the bottom of it here. And I'm going to have a look, see what I can find. Around here. The arches. And here's the portal bit. Feels different. This is different. This is a different bit. That's the other bit there. Ah, it's two of them. Oh my god. That was the platform. There's this one as well. I see. Wow. So these arches haven't been filled in. That's the side I was on before. And there's another portal. It's all modern equipment here. Footings. You can see here as well where they filled these other arches in. Yeah, I can get quite close here. My daughter's going to be waiting for me outside. So it's two of these tunnels with this and the portals. So this is, the Crystal Palace was up above this, so you can see these arches extend all the way down there. I'm going to go and have a look, but I can already see that there's a lot of botching up been going on here. The original sort of bits at the top of this one are still here, but there's a lot of steel and stone, so we're going to have a look all along this bit, I think. Walk down on the grass. These here have still got their tops on. They don't want us to get behind here to look at these things, do they? Look, ready fence. You can see how, sorry, on my video, you can see how sloping this site is here. There's slopes all the way down. This is quite a steep incline here, and then you come up and you've got all this going on. So this, I'm thinking this was original, because I can't see on top of them building that massive glass structure, if they even did, that they built all this as well. All of this down here was filled with those those houses that we saw on the map for the exhibitions. It's all gone, all been cleaned up, sanitised, These areas here with the railings would have fountains in at one point. It's a ghastly destruction of old stuff. You just can't see that they built all this. It just doesn't make any sense. So we found a hole in the fence and we're in. Let's go and have a closer look see at these now. Very tall. So we think the Victorians built all this when they did the Crystal Palace, do we? Can we get back out?
Yeah, I think,
So this is the Crystal Palace sports stadium that has been built on the site of the fountains. So you can imagine how big these fountains were, Lucy. This is where the fountains were on here, and over here now where the leisure centre is. All this was like water and fountains, and they went 400 foot up in the air, and now it's just this ghastly, horrible place. I mean, when they modernise stuff, all they do is concrete everything, and everything's on levels here. So this bit here, when we walk up, this is like low, and then the terraces all come up in the distance. Or you walk up, you're constantly walking up. I'd like to know what's underneath here. Yeah, modern development is concrete, steel and glass. So this huge giant head is Thomas Paxton, who designed the original Crystal Palace. So they say. On a horrible plinth. This bit around here is pretty ghastly, I have to say. You've got this horrible statue sculpted by Woodington in 1869. And I don't know what this is, but it's some sort of concrete weirdness. Like some concrete Stonehenge. Oh. And all this place does is go up, because we had to go and find a loo, and now we're just going up, 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 up. I'd love to know what was underneath here. Everything's had to be terraced. The tennis courts are terraced, the sports stadium's down under. It's just all slopes. So we're back here now. This will be the main path leading from the actual Crystal Palace. There's steps here, which are really big, really wide, look. So we're going to go up the top here and have some lunch. So we are here. And all that bit at the top along here is where the original palace was. So massive steps all along to the bottom there, and all along down there. That is how big this thing was. Now there's nothing here, none of it, none of the old stuff. It's all been covered up by horrible things. National Sports Centre, NSC main complex, some children's zoo, cafes, playgrounds, and there's nothing here. All gone, all covered up. So let's see what we can find. There's some sphinxes, but they're supposed to be copies of some originals. But this is there must be loads under here. Makes me wonder about the structure now. What exactly was it? So we've just come to the top of those steps where the arch is underneath that I showed you, and there's more with a few statues that we can look at, some sphinxes, and the original Crystal Palace would have been above that again. This place is humongous. How did they build this in a year, less than a year? How did they build this in less than a year? It's zero sense at all. All these plinths here are where statues were, and they've all been knocked off. There's a few around at the top there. I can't believe it. You can see that these are crap. They're just plain brick with stuff over. What was that about? That's it. So this next layer that we're going up is where the Crystal Palace was, not this layer. So the Crystal Palace was on the top bit up here, with all this archwork underneath, and then there was this huge bit here with fountains and statuary and all sorts, and then it went down, 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 down. Dozens of these. Fallen to bits and places. Yeah, these have all got steel bars in here. Well, even though we've walked up to this top bit, having walked on across this bit, the Crystal Palace was further up, because that is a bit of the old Crystal Palace. We'll go and have a look in a minute. Not much left, is there? So this lady here has lost her head. She's hollow. So these are all this. Wow, look at the nice little wildlife places. And here's some sphinxes. These have all been done up. I think there were quite a few of these, but these are obvious copies, aren't they? You can see. This is the sort of thing you'd expect the Victorians to do. This is just not quite hitting the mark, is it? Ooh. So this is standing here all by itself, and the design looks to be a bit like, well, like the original Crystal Palace. Steel. definitely steel. And hefty, isn't it? I wonder why they've left this one. So I found the subway, but we can't get in because the gate's locked.
The gate is like the entrance.
Is it? Shall we go over? My daughter says you can get in the other side, so... But you can see from here... I think there's something underneath all of this. Absolutely, for sure. The elevation, the way... when you got a view over London from the top of this hill here. Look at this. It's like this amazing vantage point for this massive, great big structure, which I believe was here before. All of this was, this, look, it's all under. So we've come to the other side of the road, but the whole subway bit is locked off. But you can see even here, this floor here. You see this flooring in here? And this wall that covers this subway bit. Here, Friends of Crystal Palace Subway. All locked up, can't go in. Okay, we're sort of stood up on the railways, looking down into where they're doing some sort of excavation down there. Obviously we can't see in, but you can see like the arches. I think these go completely all under here. Bloody subway. So we've walked from way over there, all along, all up along here, and to here. It's just huge, absolutely massive. You can see a lot of it is like half embedded. Whether it's always been like that, I don't know. Probably not. So you can see the extent of this place. And we're still going. So this area here, this was Crystal Palace Bowl. I don't know if they still use it for concerts, but I came to a Roxy Music concert here in the 1970s with my friend, and we sat up there on the grass. I remember us sitting there. It took us forever to get here because we hitchhiked, and Roxy Music opened with Virginia playing, and they were down here, and this bit here was clear water with a fountain, I think, and now it's like I guess the Serpentine was back in 1849, a filthy mess. Wow, Roxy Music was on the stage there. And Arlo Guthrie and somebody else, I can't remember. Whoa. Whoa, dragonfly. See a dragonfly?
Yeah.
So yeah, it's covered with some duckweed. Looks thick enough to walk on. What a waste. This place is just so huge, and yet it's just so underused.
Yeah.
I mean, I was just saying to my daughter how it would have been absolutely impossible to see all of this exhibition in a day. Absolutely, just impossible, I would have thought, just to even see a third of the exhibition that was in the centre itself, before you even started on the grounds and everything they had to offer. Completely ridiculous. It's huge. Just got to show you how disgusting this is here. Also, we've been walking around for hours with our rubbish because there's not one bin in this park. There's not one dog poo bin and not one bin. So there's rubbish, everybody just throws their rubbish all over the place. And then you've got this Crystal Palace, what was once a stadium and has been left to go into a state of total decay. We're just going to see if we can walk over this sort of like, don't fall in for fuck's sake, this sort of awful like thing here to get on the stage.
Is it steep or not? I'm so confused.
Oh, I don't know, we're on it. Right, back in. So we're here. Stood on the stage at the Crystal Park Bowl. This is where Brian Ferry would have been stood in 1972 or 1, whenever it was. And little me is all the way up there on the grass with my friend. So yeah, so this place they've allowed to go decrepit with all this disgusting filthy mess here, which we've just scrambled over, and stage falling to bits. This was a fountain here. This is one of the glorious fountains of the Crystal Palace, and probably before. What a complete pig's ear we have made of this wonderful realm. What a mess. Seriously, if somebody was to come across this in the future, they might wonder what the hell it was. But it's got like little speaker units in it. It's like early 70s tech. This is crazy. So even modern stuff is starting to be archaeologically interesting. Can we get over that way? So we've been walking around this place for a good hour. It's absolutely massive. There's people here now. This is what the place is now. Skate parks, leisure centres, swimming pools, tennis courts, and Bromley Council, and all these like raised areas, lots of raised areas. I think a lot of these raised areas were here at the time, and they just kept them, and they created these wildlife areas out of these different bits and pieces. Like, so now we're going to see the dinosaurs. Yeah, the Crystal Palace dinosaurs are very famous. They were put up at the time of the raising of the second Crystal Palace here at Sydenham, and are pretty weird, but you'll see them in a minute. So it's not raining today, so you can see all these old Victorian models in their glory. Stone or something like that. Artificial stone. So there's more space. See how massive this place is. instead of building on it, they're just leaving it, and hardly anybody uses this place. I just don't think they can build on it. I don't think they can. I think there's too much underneath. Genuinely. None of these trees are very old. None of these trees are very old. Well, I've got trees almost as tall as this in my garden that are 12 years old. So these are more of the pretend stone. Victorians' interpretation of old creatures. And there's one of the dinosaurs here. These were originally cast in bronze, and it says in the book, realistically painted. So here they are though. And they said that they found bones that corresponded with these dinosaurs on the sites where they were put. And if you believe that, you believe anything. Let's go and have a look at the others. So the dino doctors are back. Vital work being carried out. Essential to preserve our heritage for future generations. Repairing the 21 sculptures. And here's the back of these main ones. We'll go around and have a look at them. But just saying, this place is relatively unchanged from back then. Hello. Hey, ducks. Hello. Oh yeah. You're an odd couple. We haven't got any food. Oh, I got some. Oh, I don't suppose they'll eat strawberries, will they? No. Oh, yeah, man. Yeah. Yeah.
You're a bit of odd with that.
A bit mismatched. Yeah, guys. Yeah, if we had it, we haven't got anything. What a shame. So this area here is quite enigmatic because they said they built this. This is like the geological area. They said they built this to show how strata develops over years. This here looks like ancient old stone to me. This in here. And then they've got this which they said they built. This that they said they built to show you how rock forms. This they say they built to show how rock forms. And they say the reason it's not level is because it fell, slipped. And all through here, this looks like some natural place with a lot of additions, but that stuff at the bottom. Interesting, isn't it? More of this rock here. So whether this is Victorian pretend stuff or real stuff.
About American impressions.
Lots of areas like this that just walked up a really steep hill that go like this sort of bank shape and then slope off again. A lot of this in here. I wonder what's under here. It's just everywhere.